Okay, so we will discuss further on services marketing. We were talking about the 7 P's of services marketing, and we had looked at what are the 7 different things like product, place, promotion, price, physical evidence, process, and people, and how it is different from ordinary goods marketing. So let's look at in detail what is expanded marketing mix for services. You have the product, which includes physical good features, your quality levels, accessories, packaging, warranties, product lines, and branding. Some people actually take packaging as separate P, but it is actually part of the product. So, what is the packaging? How the warranties have to be, the product lines, the branding, everything comes under product. Then you have the place, which is a channel type, the exposure, the intermediaries, outlet location, transportation, and storage. But in our case, when we are talking about services, there is no storage as such because you don't have anything to store. And transportation is again, you cannot transport something in a physical manner. It is only online that we are transporting. Promotion blend. We have the advertising, sales promotion, publicity, the salespeople who will be doing the personal selling and direct marketing. So these are all the promotional activities. Then you have price, which is flexibility, price level, terms, the differentiation, the allowances, what is the different percentages that we are giving and all this. Then comes people, the employees, the customers, the communicating and communicating cultural values, employee research, all these things are coming under people. You have physical evidence, facility design, equipment, signage, employee trust, other intangibles. The process, which includes the flow of activities, number of steps, and level of customer involvement. Because the more the level of involvement of the customer, the more the difference will happen if there is a mismatch between the customer and the activity as such. So customer plays a major role in his own satisfaction, actually. And we have to be clear what is the flow of activities, because that is very important. Each part of the process has to be quality driven so that the end product is quality, is of good quality. You have to cut down on the number of steps as much as possible. So that is also very important. And as far as physical evidence is concerned, like we saw, what is facility design, what is the equipment, the signage, the beauty of the interior, the ambience. Let us say there are some flowers that are kept in the office. All these are going to make a major difference. How the employees dress, these are all things that decide how you perceive the quality of the organization. Now we come to the next thing, which is the challenges of services. So what are the challenges for services? Defining and improving quality. How do you define the quality and how do you improve the quality? Because defining quality itself is very difficult, because quality is very, product is intangible, so quality itself is intangible. So you have to look at what are the features and facilities that we are providing and ensure that the customer expectation and the actual delivery is matching. Communicating and testing new services. Again, you don't have a prototype. So testing a new product is very difficult. You cannot demonstrate the product. So communicating, again, it's very difficult. So actually, if you do concept testing and concept marketing, it is even more difficult than product testing and product marketing. Communicating and maintaining consistent image. That is another area of any communication. As far as promotion is concerned, is very difficult because, again, we don't have touch and feel. Motivating and sustaining employee commitment. This is a major aspect because employees are very important. How good the employee is, how satisfied the employee is, decides how good the services, and how good the services decides how satisfied the customer is. So you have to keep on motivating and sustaining employees, and like we saw earlier, we have to ensure that they are empowered. So to take decisions, uh, they can think on their feet, they can take a decision immediately without too much of hassle from the top management. Coordinating marketing operations and human resource efforts, because uh, human resources are very important here as far as service is concerned, and marketing and operations and all these functions many a times go together. Like we saw, production happens simultaneously with sales. So many of these things go together. So you have to coordinate marketing operations and human resource efforts, and ensure that whatever we are telling the customer, we maintain that kind of quality and services and features. Setting prices is also difficult. because generally when we are talking about price setting, we talk about value pricing, cost based pricing, and customer the competition based pricing. Here, you can look at value based pricing because you can look at what the customer is likely to pay you, what value they are looking at for this product. But cost plus pricing is very difficult because calculating the cost is very difficult. There you have a product, you know the price of the each part of the product, you know how much time is and effort and people and resources are needed for assembling the products, and so based on that you can have calculations. Here we are working on man hours. Different people have different productivity, different costs, because their salaries will be different, and lots of ambiguities that are there. So you have to ensure that all these are taken into consideration when you set the price. Standardization versus personalization. Most of the products here, as far as services are concerned, is customized. And so it is different from one, it is not that each product is same. The products changes from customer to customer because customer is also involved in the process. So you have to have customization, but at the same time, if there is no standardization, the variability factor of the service quality will be very so that is one important thing. So you have to try to standardize products, and one of the things that they can do is bring in more and more automation. Like you have the ATMs that we were discussing. ATMs, the teller is very the actual human teller. He may go for having a tea. He may be called upon to check out something else. He may the phone calls may come. So all this is going to affect the way he is performing when he's sitting there as a cashier. And in between he has to go for lunch, and there may be somebody in the queue that is been waiting for 2 hours, and he may not feel good if this guy suddenly goes up and goes for lunch. Although there is no way you can say that don't go for lunch, because maybe he has even extended lunch hours. So automated teller machines in ATM will not go for lunch. He is not going. The ATM is not going to take up a phone call. So he is not. It is not going to be asked any questions, any doubts by its superior or its colleagues. So when you have automation, you have more standardization. But standardization is very difficult, and it brings down sometimes the service quality. So in other terms, in terms of relationships. So it is a fine dividing line. You have to balance standardization and personalization. So what are the marketing strategies for service firms? Managing service differentiation. This is one important thing. You have to develop offer, delivery, and image with competitive advantages. So it has to be better than competition. And you have to be able to clearly communicate that it is different. So this is one major thing. You have to find service differentiation with your competition and communicate it. Managing service quality. You have to empower employees. You have to ensure they are satisfied. You have to ensure that they are customer obsessed. You yourself has to be customer obsessed. Then what will happen is their consumer orientation will increase. So they have to be customer obsessed. Find out what they need, deliver what they need. Develop high service quality standards. You always aim for high quality standards, so that you reach at least some standards. Watch service performance closely of the people that is working there, and ensure that it is up to mark. And then you have to manage service productivity, not only as it has to, anything has to be efficient, but also effective. Because if you spend too much money on money and effort and time on increasing service quality, that may actually affect the service productivity. And if productivity is not there, again your profits will come down. So you have to train current or new employees how to behave, how to work. What are the things you can reduce the time that you're going to spend and effort without actually reducing the service quality. Increase quantity by decreasing quality. Maybe in certain cases you may have to actually increase quantity by decreasing quality if that is not really required. You have to look at what is the customer value that you are getting. If for some customer, if the value is very low, then you can actually decrease quality for those customers and increase quantity, like that. Utilize technology as much as possible. Like I said, you can utilize technology to improve your standardization. So these are the things regarding customer services marketing, and we are getting into the next portion of Unit 5, which is rural marketing. Before we go into rural marketing, what is rural? What is rural market? According to 2011 census, 70% of the Indian population lives in villages. They are the major producers of grains, fruits, and vegetables. So who are these people? What is the definition of villages? RBI, Reserve Bank of India, defines it as locations with population of 10,000 which will be considered as rural, and 10,000 to 1 lakh is semi-urban. Anything more than 1 lakh is urban. So this is their definition. On the other hand, NABARD, which is it's a developmental bank, which gives money as loan to small scale sector. They define it as all locations irrespective of villages or town up to a population of 10,000 will be considered as rural. So anything about 10,000 will be urban or semi-urban. Planning Commission has a bit of a difference. So RBI and NABARD are on the same page. Both are banks, and one is a Central Bank of India, the other is a developmental bank. They are on the same page. They are saying 10,000 till 10,000 is rural market. On the other hand, Planning Commission, India's planning Commission have a different take on it. They say that towns with population of 15,000 are considered as rural. So they have added 5,000, which they consider as rural. So what is rural marketing? Rural marketing is a social and managerial process of developing, pricing, promoting, and distributing rural specific goods and services, leading to desired exchange with rural customers to satisfy their needs and wants, and also to achieve organizational objectives. So this is something like your Kotler's definition of marketing. Only thing is we are adding to the rural aspect. So it's a social and managerial process, like just Kotler was saying. And here what you're doing is developing, pricing, promotion, distributing rural specific goods and services. So there we were talking about services and goods. Here we are saying rural specific goods and services, and which again we are doing the 4 P's: pricing, promoting, and distributing those goods, leading to desired exchange with rural customers. So you have the exchange or transaction that happens with the rural customers to satisfy their needs and wants, and we are satisfying their needs and wants, and to achieve, of course, the organizational objectives through that. It is the assessment, simulation, and conversion of the needs and purchasing power of rural customers into an effective demand for specific products and services, and moving these products and services to the people in rural areas to create satisfaction and a better standard of living, and thereby achieving organizational goals. So here what we are saying is we are finding out, simulating and simulating the needs of the people in rural areas, and there we are also trying to convert the needs into and purchasing power to an effective demand, and this for these specific products and services, moving these products and services to people in rural areas through your distribution channels. And once they get it, they use it, they have the satisfaction and better standard of living. And with all this, your organizational goals are being. So what again is rural? When we are saying rural product, you're talking about rural going to rural customers. Of course, we are talking to people who are living in these villages. But is it only products that are actually manufactured there, or is it products from elsewhere? So you have urban to rural. In case it involves selling of products and services by urban marketers, people who are in the urban areas, in rural areas like pesticides, FMCG products, and consumer durables. So these are companies who are from other areas who are selling in rural areas. It can be rural to rural. These include selling of agricultural goods, tools, cattle, carts, and others in the same village or another village in its proximity. So that can also be rural marketing. So it can be urban to rural, or you can have things which are manufactured inside the rural areas and which is actually used only by the rural community, being sold in same village or different villages. So these are all the different types of rural that we are talking about.